Hi,
Go.
welcome back to Laugh, Wind and Perspire, which is myself and the fabulous Cas. Give us a wave, Cas. She's not a special guest. I'm not a compare. I know I come across like one, but Cas, what are we talking about this week?
Thank you, Neens. we
Live from Brighton is Cas.
Da, 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 da. Start spreading the news. Well, this week's podcast, Nina Benina, we've decided from a lot of messages that Nina and I got on our Instagram, is alcohol in midlife. This is because also, Neens, you tell us what happened at the weekend.
Okay. I went down to my local pub to celebrate firework night with all the locals. I had 3 glasses of wine, a great night. And that night I could feel a headache coming on. And then I was totally wiped out on the Sunday because it turned into a migraine. And this happens a lot when I seem to drink wine. And it's really, really infuriating.
And there has alcohol, I mean, obviously, you've always had migraines, haven't you? Or migraines. Have you always been a migraine sufferer?
Had them when I was in my teens, and then they stopped. Now, obviously, my hormones are changing again. They've come back. It's almost like menopausal migraines that I get, and I know a lot of women relate to that. Hence, they go on to give up alcohol. Actually,
well, I never ever suffered from headaches or anything like that until I went into menopause, and I was getting the worst migraines, the menopause migraines, like behind my eyes. I was feeling sick. I had one of my close friends from, I always remember when we were growing up, she had a migraine. She used to be in a dark room. She was sick. It was like really bad. And then I was like, oh God, I don't understand that. I've never had that. And then suddenly, oh my God. And the nausea, I've never ever had that before.
Yeah, that really does throw me. And to be fair, I was meant to be in London this afternoon, but I've cancelled because the nausea, I'm like, am I going to be sick? Oh, no, I'm not. And then I ride a little bit. Oh, I'm going to, no, I'm not. But I feel like I've got the headache kind of under control. You can always see it in my eyes. My eyes tend to go really sort of, I mean, I've got hooded eyes anyway, but they tend to go really hooded if I've got a migraine. I think through the pressure. But I shit you not, yesterday, to try and ease the pain, I had a peg here, and a peg on each eye. I was proper pegging.
Well, you know what pegging means, don't you?
It's quite rude, isn't it, pegging?
Yes.
Okay. I wasn't proper pegging. I was just pegging.
Pegging means that you might have worn something to put into your partner's bottom.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't that pegging. I was this pegging.
So pegging there, is that...
Well, you're meant to have something here to ease a migraine. But a reflexologist, Kerry, told me that you should do like the side of your thumbs, like manipulate the side of your thumbs. But you know what? In that moment where you've got a migraine, you will literally do anything. But I truly believe it is... Yes, I was starting to get migraines when I first went into perimenopause, absolutely, but again, didn't know what it was. And now I feel that if I have a drink, sometimes, not all the time, so it must be when my estrogen levels are low or my progesterone are not right, because, I mean, I felt it come on Saturday night when I was out, and then all through the night I didn't sleep well, woke up, took my migraine tablets, slept for a couple of hours, woke up, took more migraine tablets, and still, I said to my husband, it's still there this morning. It's like I'm rolling my eyes. It's in the back of my eye. It's just annoying.
Do you, a lot of the time, the thing, a bit of a sciencey side behind it as well is that when we become perimenopausal, menopausal, we sweat a lot. Okay, so then we become dehydrated. So then as soon as you have a glass of wine, it's like, oh, thanks, you're giving me some liquid, but actually it's alcohol. And that is when I become drunk quicker. because I'm sweating all the time. I can't get enough water in to hydrate myself with the amount of sweats I have and exercise.
You never look sweaty. You never look sweaty. I do.
You never look sweaty.
I do. No,
you
but
smell, but you never look sweaty.
Well, hence laugh, wind and perspire.
Do you sweat? I get sweat that goes down my back and into my bum crack, and I can feel it in between my butt cheeks?
No. I'm not that sweaty, though. No, not at all.
You never look sweaty.
No, I just get it where I have to mop my brow.
Yeah.
I do. No, but I tell you what else, just quickly changing the subject a little bit because we've got onto sweat. The odor of my sweat is very different. Before, I used to find if I sweat, without deodorant, I'd smell like a Cornish pasty. I find these days I smell more of an onion.
Beef and onion pie.
I don't
know. Beef and onion pie is like...
It's just wrong. But even down there, it's like, yeah, it's not what it used to be.
Do you find if you eat fish, your minge smells of fish?
No, I think you'll find it just smells of fish anyway for you, Cas.
No, if I
Don't
eat
make excuses. I know you're out there on the dating scene. She's going to show this to potential fellas. She's going to go, look, I just want you to know I ate fish before we got down there. That's what you're going to do, aren't you?
When I eat fish, my minge smells of fish.
You know the answer to that, babe, don't you?
Don't eat fish. Or
there you go. I think we should do the fish taste test. Taste. We should do the fish test. Seriously, I think we should do a before fish sniff and then an after fish sniff. And just see if you're making excuses.
No, I promise. Do you ever, when you go to them for a wee, sniff your gusset of your knickers?
Of course I don't.
I always do.
You know what, we talk about this. We talk about this and we go, and she goes, honestly, yesterday it was just chucking up. And she goes, I smell it. And then I go, and I get closer just to check it is. And I go, yeah, I do the same. So if we're doing it, other people must be doing it.
Absolutely. But I find mine's less smelly now I don't have periods. Like I don't have, a lot of dischargey stuff because it's all dried up.
Periods.
It's just crispy down there now. Oh, why have you had a period?
I have a period. It is doing my absolute head in.
You said that
I am taking estrogen every day. I had a really heavy period, which stopped about a week ago, and then I came on again on Friday, and it's just gosh. Absolute gush. So I'm about to go on the coil, but we'll talk about all of that when I do eventually get onto the coil. But for now, back to alcohol. See?
Alcohol.
It should have been called the podcast that seriously digresses.
Yeah. The on topic off topic podcast.
Yeah, you're so right. So
alcohol.
So alcohol. So I think, and I think as well, a lot of women get to a certain age and they think, I don't really need alcohol in my life. And I think another thing with the menopause comes anxiety. And when you drink, you feel great in the moment, but actually it heightens your anxiety. Alcohol is not good if you're suffering with anxiety. So I think women tend to give it up because they don't want the backlash of what alcohol's going to do to them. Totally get it. Before menopause, I went through anxiety, gave up alcohol for about, crikey, it must have been about 7 years, didn't touch it. But that was only because I needed to be in control of my own mind.
7 years, Neen? I never knew that.
Yeah, it must have been. Yeah.
And did you miss it, hun?
No, because I was more, because of anxiety and how it made me feel, to me, it was no competition. It was alcohol or anxiety, sorry, alcohol and anxiety or no alcohol. So it was a no-brainer for me. I was always never, ever going to put myself in that situation. And it's about also the 2 bouts of depression that I had. I'd given up smoking for a long while and then I restarted. Then I got depression. So I associate now depression with smoking. And I spoke to a top psychologist, Mr. Gary Jackson, who said that smoking, they think, they know pretty much can be related to depression. It's a drug, isn't it? It's nicotine. I will never smoke again. Never.
And I've got my oldest friend, Neen, she's just a dreamboat, found in the last couple of years, her relationship with alcohol has become quite toxic, I should say. And she's given up. And it's about 50 days now.
Good on her.
She's really struggling because she says she's never known herself without alcohol in a social situation. She doesn't know how to deal with anything. And I was really shocked by that, because a bit like Eunice, I love a drink. God, I love a drink. But I'm happy to not have a drink. Like whenever I go to my mate I go to my festivals with, she doesn't drink. Well, she can have one and she's pissed because she's only 4'11", so it doesn't take much for her to get pissed. So we don't drink when we go to festivals, but we have the best bloody time. And I love waking up not feeling like a pile of shit. And I just think, you and I think we always say this, something similar personalities, where we don't need alcohol to have a good time. But there is, even more so now, my mate's given up, that I'm thinking, well, I could happily, I like to be in social situations where I see I could have a drink, but try not to have a drink.
Yeah, but you see, I think people like you and I can do that. Next Tuesday, Club 40 Claire and I are looking to go to London. Club 40 Claire's given up alcohol. She decides she's a nicer person when she doesn't drink. Good on her. So I will go to that do, and I might have one drink because I'm with her, and that's absolutely fine. Whereas if I went with DB or a couple of other mates, I'd probably have 3 or 4 drinks, you know?
Yeah.
But you and I can do that because we don't rely on alcohol to let us have a good time. And we are very lucky, because I think some people rely on alcohol to let their guard down. And you know, and again, I get why they do it. If it enables them to let their hair down and just relax, I get why people do it.
But it's what is like, I hate the after effects for me now. I'm the same as you, Neen. Absolutely kills me. Like I remember when, and it's funny what you said about anxiety. When my mum died, I stopped drinking because I knew I was feeling bloody shit, and there's no way I wanted to exacerbate that feeling of grief.
Yeah.
And then when I went through breast cancer, as soon as I got diagnosed, I stopped drinking again, because I didn't want to have anything to make me feel even more anxious.
You don't want any toxins in your body, because what you do need is good stuff to get you better.
Yeah, and also, Neen, I didn't want the mental side of it, as we were just saying. It's just like, oh my God, I was scared and anxious enough. The last thing you want is alcohol. But it's how you, like my friend, she's got a very addictive personality. She was a massive smoker. She gave up a few times. She doesn't smoke anymore. Now she's doing it with the alcohol. But it's when she said to me, I don't know who I am without it. And it really made me sad for her, because
that's really sad.
It's really sad. And I know a lot of women also, because what happens is, I think we discussed this before about menopause. You're so tired. You know, everything's going. Your hormones are all shifting, and you're knackered. So you say you're working, you might have to come home and sort the kids out, or, you know, cook dinner, and then you think, oh, I'm not going to go and do any exercise. I'm just going to have a glass of wine. I just need to wind down. And then that one glass leads to another glass, and then you have a disruptive sleep. So you wake up feeling like shit. It's in that cycle. So if you can try not to, at least 3 or 4 days a week.
You know, I feel like we put up with a lot, we go through a lot, and yet the thing that brings us joy even gives us a shitty hard time. You know what I mean, though? It's like,
so unfair.
Huh?
It's so unfair.
It is really, isn't it? If you think to yourself, you know, I'm going to have a couple of glasses of wine, wind down, chill out, I enjoy it. It goes on to make you feel like crap, doesn't it? And it's just not fair. It's not fair. So but I do understand why women do go on to give it up. I also understand why people probably go on to drink a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it can disguise, I suppose, symptoms, but please be mindful that although it may disguise it in the moment, if your anxiety is really bad, you'll probably find it is the after effects of alcohol.
It's the worst.
It's just your hormones, isn't it? It's just your hormones. Like I said to you, migraines, I'd get migraines when I was in my teens, when I started my periods, etc., then leveled itself out. Now I'm getting migraines again.
In your menopause.
Because of my hormones. And again, this is why certain things in alcohol are not agreeing with us.
Would you ever would you ever say, I'm never going to drink again?
Yeah, I could do that easily. But if someone said to me, could you say you're never going to eat a chocolate bar again? Not a chance. Not a chance. Mine is chocolate.
Yeah.
I don't know if we get a sponsorship, but the Lidl's fruit and nut is exquisite.
Is it better than Cadbury's?
Mate, I've always been a Cadbury's girl. Always.
And fruit and nuts, my number one.
Mate, I'm telling you. No, the Aldi. Better do that again, hadn't I? Maybe we could get 2 sponsorships. The Aldi fruit and nut bar, milk chocolate.
The milk chocolate. All right, I'm going to go for that.
Is it better than Cadbury's? I'm actually, yeah, I'm going to put my neck on the line here. Yes.
Okay,
yes.
I'm going to do a taste test. I'm going to get that and a Cadbury's.
Please do. Please do. Cadbury's is amazing. There's something about that Aldi one which is amazing. Anyway, yes. No, I could give up alcohol, not chocolate. What about you?
Yeah, I could give up alcohol. Easy.
Could.
And I'm thinking, like I said to my mate, look, I'll just, every time I see you, I'm not going to drink. We don't need to drink, babe. You know, we've been friends for like over 40 years. Wait a minute, I don't need to drink. I don't need to drink when I'm with you. With her, I said that.
You know,
I think what I really wish, you know, it's like when you used to have that first fag and that first glass of wine, heaven. But we never just stop at that. We go on. And then we don't even know what we're drinking. And then we start mind sweeping fag butts out the ashtray because we've run out of fags. me and my mate used to get a taxi. This is my friend I'm talking about who's given up drinking. We lived together. We used to get a taxi to go to the petrol station to buy 20 silk cut to bring it back to the flat.
But a lot of people do that. And that's where, when I gave up, I love that I wasn't a slave to it anymore.
Yeah. But you don't need to give up chocolate.
No, but I'm saying that's the thing. For people that like a drink, you say to them, stop drinking. That's really hard. If you said to me, stop eating chocolate, that would be as hard for me as people that, do you see what I mean?
But also alcohol, chocolate's not a drug.
No, but then you see, it's really bad. But I don't look at alcohol as a drug, but then I'm not addicted. But I have got friends that have, you know, claimed that they've got a drink problem, they've gone to AA, etc. And I just want to touch on this as well. It's actually, and I'm not typecasting at all, but I do wonder if there's something in this. It's middle-aged friends who are actually single. They're single.
Oh, really?
3 of them. And I think to myself, is it because, are they drinking? Not because they're single, but because they feel a bit lonely.
Yeah. Numbs things.
I'm not saying that people are not in relationships and not. I'm just saying the 3 friends that I know that have gone to AA and got help, etc. They were all single. So, is there something in that where you get to midlife and you kind of think, I'm lonely? The dating scene is really hard, as we know. We've spoken about. I just have a drink. Just and again, I think I can understand that. You see,
now that is where exercise, and I know this is hard for you to fathom, Neens. I get up and I'm going to the gym. Either I'm training somebody or I'm training. If I don't drink the night before because I don't want to feel shit to exercise. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it totally makes sense.
So I think people, and I get it, like have that drink to make them feel, oh, that's so nice. And it just, you're feeling that it's just masking issues and problems, and it is. But then it has that flip side. The next day you're knackered, you didn't sleep well, you're feeling like shit, but it's how do you break that? And that's really tough.
Yeah, and then you sort of say to, I mean, trying to, if I was in that situation where I was single and I thought, oh, sorry, I'll just have a drink or whatever, you know, trying to tell somebody like me, look, ditch the alcohol, go to the gym. I mean, that's really hard.
Really hard.
Because I feel the drink would give me pleasure, whereas the exercise wouldn't give me pleasure. Ultimately, because I've been told this, and I know people like yourself, etc., the gym is going to give you so much more happiness and you know, a healthier, happier living, etc., compared to the alcohol. But to go from there to there,
yeah,
How long's that transition take to get your mind around going, no, alcohol, no, to gym? I'm just, I'm looking at it from someone that's in this situation potentially.
Absolutely. No, I get that, Needs. And I've never been a home drinker either. So a lot of my friends, either in couples or a single, are home drinkers. So they'll go home and have a glass of wine with their meal. I never do that. I have a glass of mineral water.
Do you?
No, I just have water or tap water. No fucking mineral water.
I do like sparkling water though. I am at that age. We need to talk about that. It's only been in the last sort of year I've gone, I'll have a sparkling water. And my husband gets really arsey. He's like, I can't believe it. I'm paying for that. Can't believe it.
No, I can't believe that.
I do quite like it.
Do you have any lime in it or just fizzy water?
Oh, no. I am that much of a twat. I just have it on its own. Yeah.
That reminds me of when you're ill, when you're a child and you have that, what's that, Andrew's liver salt?
Salt, yeah.
I hate fizzy water.
I just drink Lucozade. Lucozade from a glass bottle with the orange cellophane. Do you remember that?
You used to have that when you weren't very well. My mum always used to get it for me if I had an upset tummy or something.
Whereas now we just sell it 10 a penny, don't they, in the shop?
It's just sugar.
Yeah, I think it's a real hard one, and I can see both sides to why people want to drink a little bit more and why people want to get up. Personally, if I had to make a decision right now on the 2 days that I've just had, I'd ditch it every day long. But is that not what we used to say when we used to get hangovers? Not doing it again. Next week, out you go, same situation.
Yeah.
But this isn't even like a hangover. This is like, it's just like a 2 to 3 day. It is like a hangover, but it's longer.
Yeah. That is it, isn't it? It's like you used to have a hangover and then go out the second night, drink again, and then have a Sunday, have a hangover. So you went Friday night, feel like rubbish on a Saturday, go out Saturday night, feel like rubbish on a Sunday.
Yeah.
I only have to go out once, a few glasses of wine, and I feel rubbish for about 3 days.
What's it like when you drink beer or something else, Cas?
Better, but I'm not a beer.
Here.
I'm not a beer, or I used to drink gin. I'm not a spirit drinker. I love a glass of wine, red, white, rosé. Love prosecco.
Do you find it's bad if you drink red, white, or I mean, what's the worst for you? Red. But they say, don't they? I don't know if this is the same as white wine, but they say that the tannins, whatever that is, in red wine is what gives you a hangover. And I feel mine's hereditary as well, because my mum, when she went into menopause, started to get migraines through drinking. So, and she loves her red wine, my mum loves it. But it was almost like might get a migraine, might not. So I definitely feel it's hereditary as well. But back to the tanning, sorry, just thought I'd throw that in. There is a little funnel thing or something you can buy to almost filter your wine so that it takes the tannins out before you drink it.
Well, that's interesting, because years ago I only ever drank red wine when I went out, and I used to get really, really blocked up, like I couldn't, wheezy, blocked up. Went to the doctor and he went, it's the histamines in red wine. If you drink organic red wine, if I drink organic, this sounds so fucking knobby, doesn't it? If I drink an organic red wine, Co-op do a really brilliant one, I never get blocked up or have wheeziness.
That is mad, isn't it?
Yes, there's obviously that, like your mum, like the tannins, the histamines, whatever they are in it, that make you feel like shit. What are you looking up, Neens?
I'm looking at the tannin remover. There's even drops for wine. Tannin remover drops for wine.
Oh my God. How much are they?
£45.
Probably best not to just drink, really, Neens, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but if you like your wine... Oh, hang on. Wine Aid. Enjoy preservative clear wine restored to its natural state without affecting the taste. Wine Aid.
And how much is that?
That is $24.99 for a pack of 3 or $9.99 for a bottle.
Or buy organic red wine for £8.
And that works for you.
Honestly, I've really found it's, the doctor told me this was years ago. I mean, I don't always get organic red wine now, but Co-op do a really good one. I think it's about $7.99 or something.
Listen, if it makes you feel better, then absolutely go ahead.
But I'm not. I think being able to drink. Do you drink at home, Neens?
No, No, never.
Does Miles drink at home?
He might have a couple of beers every now and again, or a glass of red wine, but not huge amounts.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing. I think if you're drinking at home, I think it's a danger, especially if you're husband and wife or a couple and you both drink, which my friend, they're a couple, her and her husband both. So it's like, if you don't want to drink, and you think actually, or my partner's going to drink, so I'll just have one, and then it leads to more. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
It's really hard.
It is hard because actually it does give people pleasure.
Yeah.
So that's wwhat's hard about it. You know, if it's something you enjoy,
it's short-term pleasure.
Yeah,
that's what you've got to remember.
That's so true. I think that's a really good place to wind it up, actually, because it is short-term pleasure. Yeah. And I think if you can keep that in your mind, you may not go for that extra glass.
And one more thing, just to wind this up, this conversation about alcohol, is your liver to function well needs 2 free clear days a week without alcohol. So your liver is the most amazing organ. Okay, so you could drink every day, but it won't be functioning to its full capacity. So 2 free clear days a week if you can.
Interesting. And that's not hard, really, is it?
No, if you want to do a Monday and a Tuesday and then see how you go Wednesday, Thursday, you know.
If you're wondering if I could do 2 days without chocolate. I could if I had to.
But you don't need to.
If it affecting an organ in my body, absolutely I would. But we would love to know how it makes you feel. So please comment below, because some of you may have some tips as well on, you know, if people want to drink wine, the best way to go about it. And like Cas was saying, that organic wine or stuff to remove the tannins, any tips or tricks would be absolutely amazing. But do you feel the same as us if you have a drink? Let us know, please, in the comments. But we're also available, Cas, aren't we? On all good podcasts now, I do believe.
I think once this goes out, we will be on a podcast.
We will be, absolutely. Look at us. But that means we're going global, right?
Hello.
So make sure you subscribe. Do we do that, Cas?
I think we do that.
Somewhere.
Subscribe. Leave a comment.
Subscribe. Yes.
If it's a negative one, we'll delete it. So just saying. Thank you very much.
Thanks for listening or watching if you're on that there tube, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye, Casaroo.
Bye, Nina Banina.